Hello YouTube, this is Tammy Pie and I'm back with another video. There are several videos that I was going to do. Outstanding weekend of football, by the way. But this morning I saw Kasia of Tarot Map do a video on her most beautiful decks. And I thought, I have beautiful decks. I mean, I have some of the same beautiful decks that she probably showed. Am I showing any? I don't think I am, though, showing any of the ones that she showed. I don't think. I could be wrong. And within that, maybe I can, kill two birds with one stone. Okay. So, let's begin. In the comments of Kasia's beautiful decks video, people were saying, hey, why didn't you have Jonasa Jaus? Jonasa Jaus is such a beautiful deck. And yes, I was one of those comments because I love Jonasa Jaus and the Stunning Tarot. But when I think about it, her most beautiful piece of work is this Nemeth Tarot. And it is, Jonasa Jaus is, Jonasa Jaus is Galatian. And Galatia is a tiny country outside of Spain. And this deck, the Nemeth, is done using as context to the tarot Galatian myths, stories from Galatian history. And in my following Jonasa Jaus's Instagram and reading up on the things, she also said that yes, there is some similarity in Galatian stories and Celtic stories. So something like this might look familiar to you if you are familiar with some Celtic stuff. I just picked this up and kind of went with it. I had read some of the stuff, and if you go to her Instagram and go, scroll back, you can find some of the stories, not all of them. And it does give you a little, doesn't that look like the chalice wall? You can find some of these stories, and it will give you a little more insight into the art, but it's definitely tarot. Also, because the titles are in Galatian, basically, there might be a little language barrier, but if you have at least high school Spanish, you can get by. And I don't know, you can figure it out if you really want to. But it is really, really beautiful artwork. And yes, I'm in my bathing suit because I just got back from Kahaluu Beach. I was watching my youngest brother and his son go surfing. If I remember, I'll put I took some video of that. Okay, I also have this first edition, this really cool old box that I got at a thrift store. I put one of the extra cards there. These decks, the early printings came with this curtain, which people were like, what are we supposed to do with the curtain? And I just always put it up, like in a card holder or something. Like when I was doing a reading with these, it was a puppet show. These originally came with the corners squared, and I corner rounded them at some point. But this is, now Alexander Daniloff has done several other decks, and there's been a few printings of this. I think there were 3 printings before he went to the regular card size cardstock. This is actually a pretty big deck. Let me see if I have a regular RWS. Hang on. Here we go. So it's quite a bit taller and a little bit wider than a regular RWS. But the art deserves the bigness. And this cardstock is kind of papery from the early editions, but the printing is really beautiful. And I believe this is watercolor. I'm not sure. It could be acrylic. Might even be oil, but I think it's watercolor. The latest editions that he's done of this are more card size, so it's no doubt an easier deck to handle. He's done, I want to say 3 or 4 different Lenormand decks too, which are also fabulously beautiful. I really love the quartz, what he did with the quartz. Yeah. So, and the 10s, all the 10s have that kind of yoni-shaped doorway in the back, which I love. Get that 2 of swords, wow. Okay, let's look at this one. This one's a really special one, and it is beautiful in packaging as well as the deck itself being just an incredible work of art. And this is a one-of-a-kind deck. I don't know if you can get from Il Meneghello the Visconte Madrone, but these boxes were actually made by Osvaldo. And this was a gift from my very good friend Patrick at the Living Will. And what he did, what did I do here? I'm forever doing this. If you look at these backs, you can see that some of them are lighter. And the reason for that is because the Madrone is actually only I think a 67 card deck. So that's the way Osvaldo made it. But Lo Scarabeo did one that had the extra cards, and I believe they're done by Luigi Scapini. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. But what Patrick did was copy the artwork from that deck and print it on the very same art paper. You can't tell the difference between the art paper unless you really try. And and then he treated it so that it feels like a cohesive deck. You can't tell. Like, for instance, these 2 cards are Osvaldo's work. And this card is Patrick's. So there's a little bit of difference. If you're really, want to get but this deck, it is gorgeous. And he was trying to get me, of course, because I said, I don't super love the Visconte. And he was like, what? Because he loves historical tarot. And then let me just show you the wands are like spears instead of so cool. Okay, so there's that. Now, beauty is personal, right? different people judge beauty differently. Something that Kasia thinks is beautiful, someone else might not. Something that I think is beautiful, someone else might not. Now, I'm a huge fan of Robert M. Place and his decks. And this deck, in my opinion, is one of his most beautiful. And this is the Raziel Tarot, which is the long print, majors only. This is based on Jewish mysticism, biblical story, and just kind of traditional. I think she calls them mitzvahs, like stories that people tell each other and pass down. And it is just really, and of course in part, why this is so beautiful is Rachel Pollack's book, which describes these books and stories in such a loving, open-minded, interesting way, almost as if she were there. Look at this. Anyway, I think that's one of my most beautiful treasures. Honestly, I could go on and on and on because in some way, I think all my decks are incredibly beautiful. They each have their moment. This one also has the most beautiful packaging. Look at the inside of this box. This is the Lonely Dreamer Tarot by Melissa Wotherspoon with insights from Dr. Esther Frankel Tishman, who is our friend at Mindful Tarot. And this is version 3 of this deck. It is curated art from the body of work. Who is the guy? Odilon Redon. And this is one of those decks that sometimes I have trouble with because it is so pretty. Sometimes I just get lost in these images. Look at that color. Goodness gracious. And this deck came with several oracle cards that kind of go with the deck. I'll just leave them in there. Okay, come on. Look at those blues. Wow. Stunning. Just really, really nice. As much as I love that that box, I'm gonna have to get a bag for that because it's hard to get out of the box. It's a pretty box. Really nice. Well done. What beautiful deck video could be made without showing some of the Baba decks? Honestly, every single one of them is beautiful. But I saw a video the other day of someone showing the 4th edition of this one, the Victorian Romantic, in comparison to the 1st edition, which they had been using like for years and years and years, to the point where they had to retire the deck or lose it to ragged edges and the color coming loose. But the 1st edition of this deck is quite different. There's a lot of changed cards. I'd say there's like 10 or 11 changed cards, which I did not realize. I knew there was 1 or 2. And there's definitely between this edition, which is the 3rd edition, it came in the like teal colored clamshell box, and the latest one that came in the wood box. I know she added a couple of things. The Page of Wands is my favorite edition that she did, because it's got this gorgeous red-haired girl, and I just think it's perfect for the Page of Wands. But I did a 78-day study with this deck and read the book, and the book tells how she put together the artwork for this. There are elements in many of these cards that were taken from different works of art. So she might change a face or add a person or put a basket or a horse or an extra soldier in or change a hat. And she tells you in the book where it's from. So I keep that in this fabulously cool double-decker Kelly Bear pouch. This was the first one that she made, I think. First one she made and sold anyway. And it's got like the hair and little embroidered bits and pieces to it. It's really cool. And the other side, I have my other favorite. I mean, it's hard to have a favorite Baba because I love my Alice too. And the Alice is really beautiful. But I'm showing these because these are what I pulled out. It's the middle of the night and there's no trucks, which is nice. But this particular edition, this is the 3rd edition that backs like this. I edged this in like some pretty colors, but I'm a wild woman. And it's creepy, but it's also got some of the most beautiful. Of course, none of those are coming up like this. This star is just gorgeous. The pages are unreal. 3 of Wands. Beautiful. And I don't love what the metallic printing did to this. I think it took away from the great art here. I keep hoping my favorite cards will come up, but when you want to see them, they're never there, right? There's Frank and the monster. I love this one. This one too. I mean, this is great Gothic dark humor there. It's just gorgeous. I love that she does that. The Wheel of Fortune is always a fortune teller. The moon is beautiful. That's so good. Delirious, drunk on blood. Ah, there it is. That's my favorite card. Okay. And of course, this is turning out to be a super long video, but that's the way it goes, right? Okay, so also you can't have a beautiful decks video without showing some 3 Trees goodness. Because, oh man, 3 Trees. Is she or is she not gorgeous? This is the Thistledown Oracle. This is the unsung magnificence of this collection. People are so in love with the tarot decks. I think, oh, there's our new friend. Can't wait for that deck to come. That you never see anyone talking about Thistledown. And it is really lovely. Really lovely. Yeah. Minor bird. I'm sorry, magpie. In Hawaii, there are no magpies, so my allegiance has changed to minor birds. But they're similar. Okay, and this is the Smoke, Ash, and Embers, which I've been playing with a lot because it's the year of the dragon. And sure enough, everyone who said it reads beautifully was correct. All you have to do is spend a little time with it. Do a few readings with it. And it has this like really soft-spirited voice. And I have that in this little treasure box. All right, now what do we have? Okay. Here is one where people have different opinions of this tarot deck, but it definitely has beautiful art. Oh, this is in order. This is the old version. That card was changed. It's the High Priestess. Mine has had the borderectomy, the Emperor, the Hierophant, that was changed, Lovers, the Chariot, Strength, the Hermit, the Wheel, Justice, the Hanged Man, Death, Temperance. God, I keep thinking I'll stop after this, but each card is just so pretty. That Tower is awesome. The Star. These two I want to show together. The Moon and the Sun. Judgment was later changed. And the World. And I'll stop there, even though there are some incredible minor arcana in this deck, but many of the cards are the same. I think in the minor arcana, only one or two cards have changed. I believe the Three of Swords has changed. Okay, let's show, I saw somebody talking about this deck the other day too. Beautiful edges, beautiful backs. This is the Eastern Ink Tarot. And this is the deluxe version. That's how it has the bright blue borders or edges. But I don't think the cardstock is super different, if I'm not mistaken, from the regular edition. And the regular edition, the not deluxe edition, has the book in English. This one has a book that's written in, I think, Chinese, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know how to read that. I guess some people are using Google Translate to read it. But I mean, this is super RWS. Just really pretty Eastern version of RWS. Page of Swords. Yeah. And I keep it in, this bag came with the deluxe edition along with a cloth, a fan, and a pin that I have pinned to my bag up there. Okay. I recently showed this deck, and I do think this is beautiful. This is the Illuminated Deck of Holy Souls by Lindsey D. Amour Williams. And I think this deck is beautiful. If Catholicism freaks you out, maybe this is not a deck for you, because it is full of a bunch of saints and people about whom there are stories, who might not be saints yet, but who might be canonized eventually. There's St. John with the Eagle. Remember my world discussion for top tarot trumps? They're all in here. Let's see. There's St. Francis with the animals. Pope John Paul. What she's done with these paintings, she did acrylic paintings, is give you a hint to the stories. So you can go back, if you're really interested, you can go back and look up these stories. Or in the little paper pamphlet she gives with the deck, you can see, basically what they're the saint of. Unicorn. Veronica is the one who wiped Jesus's face, right? And down here, there's like a line from a prayer, maybe. I don't know. They're kind of like holy affirmations, I guess. I was hoping some more of the saints that are around the world card would show up, but maybe not. But she also does some interesting kind of gruesome things, like St. Bartholomew. I believe the way he died, he was skinned, so he's shown. It looks like Dracula in his red armor, but actually that's him without his skin. And then this is the Seraphim with all the million eyes. And he was beheaded. Anyway, yeah, so that's a beautiful deck, right? And right next to it, because I'm playing with pairs in this cool Moonlit Fae bag, is another kind of interesting look into the world of the way we look at these things, right? And this is the Sistine Tarot, which of course is never coming back. So if somebody has an extra one that they want to sell you, give them their money, because that's the only way you're going to get it. And out. This is my only copy, so I will use it until it's... And it's the same girl that I was talking about earlier that was talking about having to retire her... I think it was the same girl. Was talking about having to retire her Victorian Romantic. Also has this one, which is just... She has used the heck out of this doing pro readings. Wow. Yeah. Okay, last one. And this is one that I just got back from New Mexico. And I am going to do like an in-depth walkthrough with this. But this is Tarot Symbolique Masonic. And it's just so pretty. You can't even tell in the camera. But the colors and the weird gold ink from this era of card making. And again, these are kind of larger cards. This is the same size as the Daniloff, I think. Not as big as the Madrone, but bigger than RWS. It's got some of these weird open hand cups. And each one of these edges is a little different. It looks like a windowsill or some kind of design you might find in a Gothic building. There's more of those hands. There's an ace. There's the Queen of Wands, Baton. The Queen of Coins. The Queen of Swords. The King of Coins. There we go. Here's a Magician. Look at that. Here's the Wheel. Yeah, somebody asked me when I said, was there something you'd like to see? Baton. Look at that fiery color. The gradation is so beautiful. Oh, delicious. Someone asked me to do a more in-depth walkthrough of this deck, so I will do that. But those are my beautiful decks. I mean, honestly, I could show you another 12. Maybe I will if I get my tags done and my other stuff that I want to do. But thank you for coming, and stay tuned. At the back of this, I'll tag on the Kahalu surf stuff that is my brother and my nephew paddling out. And like a bunch of other people were out there too, so it's just nice, Hawaiian water. it goes. There's our Bowie.